I told you the world of gaming is about to get a whole lot more marvelous?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
That's right, folks. What if I told you that this game, and most definitely, most importantly, this game are coming back with a vengeance? So let's be honest. If you're like me, after watching the Deadpool and Wolverine movie, multiple times might I add, you probably had the urge to play or maybe even replay the Deadpool and Wolverine video games. But unfortunately, unless if you're in a position like me where you already own these games since they were released back originally, well, guess what? They're no longer available to purchase digitally, and if you're trying to buy a physical copy, it is literally going to cost you as much as a down payment on a Honda Odyssey, because holy moly, especially the Deadpool video game, I did not realize how expensive this game has gotten. It is now consistently selling at well over $100 Canadian in a brand new state, and quite a bit over its original retail price if you're buying a pre-owned copy. I mean, that is astounding. And the same thing goes to quite a lesser extent for the Wolverine game as well. Well, at least in the case of the Deadpool video game, I potentially have some very excellent news for you. Or maybe I should say I have some positive rumors that we're going to talk about here today.
Microsoft is looking to, they're working to get Deadpool and Marvel Ultimate Alliance, I guess, reactivated, relicensed, or whatever, to bring those two games back.
That's right. We're talking about the news that were shared over on the Xbox Era podcast, one of the largest Xbox-centric podcasts out there, where one of the co-hosts went ahead and talked about the fact that they've been hearing that Disney and Microsoft have been meeting and trying to work on renewing the license on the Deadpool video game to make it available for purchase once again on digital storefront. But apparently it's not just the Deadpool video game that they're working on. They're also apparently trying to renew the license for the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games, both the first and the second one, which is pretty freaking awesome. I'm still kind of hopeful that at some point in time we'll get the third game released on other consoles except the Nintendo Switch. I think that would be really cool to see, but I guess we'll see whether or not that actually happens at some point in time in the future. For now, though, this is already a pretty exciting development. Now, I'm sure that some people are probably pausing here and most likely saying something along the lines of, why is Microsoft involved? Activision made those games. Well, surprise, you're probably not aware of this, but Microsoft actually owns Activision now, and guess what? Those games are now the property of Microsoft. They are the ones that actually own the games. However, in order to make them available for sale again, they actually have to gain a deal or a license deal with the Disney company, who of course owns the Marvel license. Now, I've also seen some people jump up and say, this is never going to happen. Microsoft hates Disney and Marvel and they have no interest in it. And I really don't understand where that comes from, except for that one story where initially Phil Spencer had turned down Marvel/Disney to do Marvel themed games, but that was so many years ago. And since then, I mean, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but Disney and Microsoft have already been working together. Just this very year, they will be publishing the Indiana Jones game. So that is a pretty big Disney property that is being published by Microsoft. And then, of course, in addition to that, I don't know if you remember, but, well, Microsoft is already making a Marvel game, and that would be Blade. So I think that that relationship rift has been fixed. And then in addition to that, I just want to remind you guys of something. I don't know if you know this, but Microsoft is interested in making money, right? And when you take a look at just how popular Deadpool is, especially coming off of the Deadpool and Wolverine movie, I think that the fact that the game is consistently selling for well over $100 means that if Microsoft were to just release this game for, let's say, $40 on digital storefront, they would probably sell a whole heck of a lot of copies, allowing them to make a whole heck of a lot of money and revenue to fund other projects. So I think that this is a pretty safe bet. I mean, when you really also take into consideration the fact that these games are done. You would literally just need to simply renew the license and list them back on storefronts, allowing people to have an easy and hopefully affordable way to add these games into their collections. Just seems like a no-brainer and kind of a win-win for everybody involved. Assuming that, of course, the license does not cost Microsoft a whole heck of a lot of money to acquire. So basically the point that I'm trying to make here is that I think that this is one of those rumors that is actually very, very credible. I think there's a very good chance that this is actually going to happen when you take into consideration the fact that Microsoft and Disney are already working together on multiple different projects right now. When you take into consideration of how popular the Deadpool character is, it makes perfect sense that Microsoft would try to pursue to make this happen, and hopefully it happens sooner rather than later. That way a lot of people are able to add this game to their collections. Now, I do also want to take a quick moment here and just mention how freaking cool would it be if they do manage to get this license, if they also go back and republish Hulk Ultimate Destruction. I would love to see that. I mean, that game really deserves a remaster, not just a re-release, but I'd be okay just with an actual re-release. And in addition to that, it would be really cool if, since we're talking about Deadpool and Wolverine, if they did go back and also republish the Wolverine Origins game as well, because I genuinely think that game is really, really fantastic. And if you've not had a chance to play it, do yourself a favor, check it out. It is genuinely a really, really fun title. So now that we're done with the believable portion of this video, let's talk about this part, because I think that as much as it is exciting, I don't think that this portion is very true. Now, what am I talking about? Well, apparently, at least on Twitter, I've seen a lot of people tweeting about the fact that not only are we getting a renewal of this license for Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 and the Deadpool video game, as we've been talking about, but Marvel wants to have another Deadpool video game being made. And apparently, Microsoft has stepped up and raised their hand and said, hey, we'll do it. We'll build it. Now, I don't believe this, mostly because of the fact that I could not find any actual credible sources saying that this is true. I scoured the internet trying to see if someone like Tom Henderson, for example, confirms that there is something to this story, because more often than not, someone like him is very, very reliable. Yes, he doesn't get everything right, but I would say like 9 or 8 times out of 10, he is most certainly correct about his rumors / leaks. And so I was hoping to find someone like him of his stature that would confirm that this is true. And I literally could not find anything like that. I could only find other people tweeting or retweeting the same sort of information saying that this is what they've heard, but I couldn't really sparse an actual believable source. So for now, I wouldn't get my hopes up about another Deadpool video game. I think it would make sense for another Deadpool video game to be made, considering how popular the character is and the fact that he would be at least commercially successful, I would imagine. But as of right now, there's no credibility to that. Whereas, as I've been making the case for the re-releases, it makes perfect sense that Microsoft would go out of their way to make that happen. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like. That would be very much appreciated. Thank you so very much for your support. Let me know what you guys think. Would you be excited about the possibility of a re-release of Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2, as well as the Deadpool video game? Would you like to see another Deadpool video game? Let me know down in the comments section below. And of course, like I always say, I hope you all have an absolute fantastic rest of your day. Peace out. I'll see y'all later, alligators. Bye-bye, everybody.